Hi guys, my name is Matthew Liggins, and the title of my presentation is called Women and the Dangers of Photoshop. Most of us, if not all of us, know what Photoshop is these days. We know it's used in things such as media, cinema, imagery. We even use it ourselves in our personal apps such as Instagram and Facebook. Photoshop can be a very beneficial and positive thing. We can use it to make pictures, more attractive and eye-popping, and just change photos and videos that we take in ways that can just be more entertaining to people and more attractive to people. And we can just make we can make creative things with Photoshop. Photoshop can be a really beneficial and good thing. There's nothing wrong with Photoshop at all. The issue is when Photoshop is used in ways that it isn't known to the public, and the public falls into in the public. I will say the public, I want to say women, but it is the public too as well, that falls into a trap of such a framing from organizations that, or media that sends out any kind of imagery, and the dangers that can come about if it's not known and how to realize these images. So Meredith Jones, from an article called Media Bodies in Photoshop, speaks on Photoshop and imageries, stating that as soon as an image is touched by the Photoshop tool, as it is augmented, revised, enhanced, or changed in any way, then it has become Photoshopped. So the media that I want to show that involves Photoshop that will allow you to see the dangers of Photoshop is from a few celebrities and side-by-side comparisons of how their images were changed. Now, before I show you this, I will let you know that these images were actual before and after pictures that were put in things like random magazines like Cosmopolitan and other magazines, and imagery sources and things. I just gathered them all up in one pile, but I do have those sources in my work. But now we'll show the celebrities. These are notable celebrities that most people know, or at least I think that most people know. So this right here is Beyonce. If you could take now these two are the same images of a before and after look. This side is the before and this side is the after. If you look closely, you can see how her imagery has changed. You can tell that by the makeup it's been enhanced itself. You can tell her eyebrows has been pushed up a little bit and has been enhanced. Her cheeks have been blushed, past used by makeup, and her skin has been flattened so it doesn't even really look realistic like real skin. This is I think her name was Emma Stone, and Emma yeah, it was Emma Stone. I want to make sure I get the names right. Some of these actresses, I don't know too well, but I do want to make sure I get their names right. You can see the Photoshop images on her before and after in the same positions as Beyonce's. You can see her hair has been changed as it's been highlighted. A few pieces of it have been taken off, pretty much to make her hair look more neater. You can see her eyes have been changed as well. They've been flattened slightly, it seems, to make them look a more sleeker, to give off a little bit more of a sex appeal. You can see that her eyeballs themselves have been changed greatly by Photoshop, and the differences between the two. This right here is Kim Kardashian. Now, this picture has been known by many of people, and you can see this is by Complex down here, complex.com. This was the source of this photo right here. You can see by her legs that they've been greatly edited. They've been thinned out. There's been parts of her legs, that shows, if I wouldn't call it cellulite, but no, her legs have, character. They're not just like flat legs. When after they've been photoshopped, it just looks like flat, flawless skin, which is not even how the human body is. All of our legs have marks and grooves in them that give off who we are just personally. You can see also and around in her stomach region as well, it's been edited and it's been slimmed down. Pretty much her body's been shaped in ways that a real body isn't even shaped. Mariah Carey as well, another one right here, and it actually shows you a couple of the changes that's been done. You can tell that there's been work done to her waist, done to her shoulders, her neck area, her hair. Just places that would give off more of a sexual appeal, show off more curves of a woman and things of the such. The reason why I feel like not why I feel like, the reason why these are dangers when not known to the public and when, these images are shown, is that women will look at these women as their idols and feel like they can reach these bodies, but these bodies aren't even, real bodies. So they're trying to chase something that they can't get. They'll do many things to their body, in some ways healthy, but in many ways unhealthy too, to reach those goals, which affect women greatly, both physically and mentally. So in the article, an experimental test of effects on fictional framing and attitudes defines framing as a process by which a source defines the essential problem underlying a particular social, political, and outline a set of considerations purportedly relevant to the issue. And this was a combined definition by Nelson, Oxley, and Clausen. The reason why I'm connecting Photoshop to framing is because when Photoshop is used, we get caught somewhat up in a trance, both men and women. We see bodies that we feel like are actual bodies, such as we're watching a movie. We're so deep into the movie sometimes we don't even know that the bodies we are looking at aren't even may not be their real bodies. So while we personally try to get these bodies that attract us, because they attract us for reasons, these reasons are studied. It's mostly like a sex appeal and things like that, but this is well researched of how to attract people through these concepts, which puts us pretty much in the concept of framing. We're stuck in this one sense of idealistic view of what is right and what is true, and we try to reach that when it's really not what it is. Now, as well, from Robert M. Etnan, he speaks on framing not in a definition but by three concepts. And I'm going to read the concepts off right here. He says that sometimes it's applied to news purportedly that distorts or falsifies reality. That's a distortion basis. He says sometimes to news that favors one side rather than providing equivalent treatment to both sides in a political conflict. That's the second concept of content bias. And the third concept is sometimes the motivations and mindsets of journalists who allegedly produce the biased content, and this is called decision-making bias. So these are all biases that are used in many medias, to attract us, and that may be for many reasons, to persuade us in some type of information, to persuade us to buy a product, whatever the goal of that organization or the source of that Photoshop media would be at. So in an article, but we are not like the people on TV, the article speaks on young mothers and how young mothers felt that media did not, rightfully portray their lives. They felt that media sort of glamorized their lives, felt that media showed young motherhood as a great learning experience that, yes, it may have some hardships, but, you get free stuff, or, you have fun, and you have people to help you out and things like that. But a lot of young mothers say that that's not really how young motherhood is. And sometimes this is used in Photoshop as well, in media, in imagery. You'll see these young mothers, you'll see them, drinking things such as, fit slim teas, or, doing these workout, regimens and things. But, these are all Photoshop images used to persuade young women and young mothers that, after, you have your babies and things like that, this is what you can get your body to if you use this product or if you do it this way, which may not be the whole truth. And a lot of women and young mothers, and even men as well, this isn't just a women thing. A lot of men, young men, older men, this is, an all-around thing. Photoshop, is used in many of ways, not even towards people. It can be used on objects. It can be used in many ways that we fall into the framing system that, once again, that we don't see. So that's why I wanted to speak on this as, dangers, of Photoshop, of, what you have to realize that is photoshopped and not real. Especially with bodies, you'll see a lot of images where okay, yeah, these bodies are purposely, enhanced in some type of way. And pretty much, that's it right there for the dangers of Photoshop. So once again, I don't want to say that Photoshop is all a bad thing, because it's not. Photoshop is well and is beneficial. We use, like I said, we constantly use it every day. But I will say that it can bring negative effects to the minds and bodies of young women, young mothers, and people all around if we are not careful of how we look at media and how we look at Photoshop and how we are not caught in the system of framing. Thank you.